Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lisa Jang, Yin Yoga teacher trainer, Yin Yoga teacher practitioner, and Yin Yoga teacher. All right, for today we have an upper body sequence. All you'll need is 2 blocks. You might need a pillow, and as well grab a blanket. That might be helpful. We're going to start off laying down onto our back into our supported fish pose. If you have a hard floor like I do, go ahead and place a blanket behind you so that you're nice and cushioned as you lay on down. So I'm going to move this a little bit forward as I'm here. And I'm starting off with the 2 blocks. Option to use the bolster, and I'll show you how to use that in a little bit. But the block is going to be at our medium level and our high level. The medium level is going to go right at the bottom tip of your shoulder blades as you're here. And then the other one is going to go right behind your head, like so, okay? And always know that you can adjust the levels of this one. If it's too high, of course, take it down to mama bear level instead of or baby bear level instead of mama bear level. And this one you can change to get a little bit more extension again, you're gonna take it to mama bear or baby bear. If you're using the pillow, what I would recommend is having something like that and then placing your pillow there. And you'll be in supported fish pose. For this one today, I'm going to use the blocks just because it just feels, for me today in my body, I would like a little bit more open. Take that bolster or pillow underneath your legs, and then gently, as you're here, scooch down. Just kind of feel out for your shoulder blades and slowly come down onto the other block. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a demonstration here. So I'm in my supported fish pose or heart opener. You can go lower as you're here. Notice I've taken the block down into my mama bear level. And you also can take this down to baby bear. Now notice as you're here, there's a little bit more of that back bend, a little bit more extension. And for me, this is really uncomfortable. So I want you to customize the pose for your body, right? We don't jam our body into shapes. We customize the poses or the shapes for our bodies, right? So again, using the blocks to your fullest potential, what works best for you, what is most helpful. So as you're here, just begin to settle into your heart opener, into your supported fish pose. And if you have an extra blanket, you can cover your belly if you would like as you're here. You can cover your hands. It's always nice too. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll cover my hands. It just feels really quite nice. Again, you can rest your hands on your body too. And then take a slow, deep in-breath. And a slow, deep out-breath. Just gently start to arrive. Letting go of the busy day, or maybe this is just your good morning practice. So welcoming your whole body to the opportunities and the abundance of what the day is going to bring. And for some of us, we know that coming back to this practice gives us better quality of life, helps our nervous system, particularly the parasympathetic nervous system, helps regulate that, helps us move better and navigate. So allow your shoulders to soften and begin to find an easy cadence and rhythm of breathing that resonates with you today. Deep in breath, deep out breath. Again, deep in breath and deep out breath. Allowing yourself to drop in. Take about 2 more cycles of breath there. And as you're ready, only when you're ready, if you need more time, feel free to stay. I'm going to unravel the blanket here and place my feet on the bolster. I'm going to roll towards the camera here. You can roll towards the screen and gently start to come all the way up. And then you can lay back down or take a moment to pause in your seated pose as you're here. Any pose that helps you kind of become aware and of how you're feeling in the upper back and in the nervous system already. I'm definitely feeling the back fascia, the upper back, definitely starting to be more connected to my body awareness, which is one of the benefits of myofascial release, is really being more aware of your body and connecting to that. Our next pose is a side lying pose. And we're going to use a block for myofascial release. And I'm going to take this big chunk of tissue here in the lats. Well, further back is more the lats. We're going to get, of course, the serratus as well. I tend to just like to use a block, but I'm going to show you how to use it with a blanket, because for some of us, especially if we're new to myofascial release, this can be really intense. So always listen to your body in this one. I'm going to take my blanket over my block as I'm here. This other block that I have is going to be, if I need it for my head, you can always use your hand to support your head. And let's go ahead and lay on down right onto our side ribs as you're here. I'm going to tack the tissue down and slowly move down. And notice I'm sliding that block back. That way I can get a little bit more posterior. And then as well, you can take that block if you would like for your head. I'm going to move this blanket a little bit here to support my arm, my shoulder. And actually the blanket feels really nice today. And as you do this, you're going to roll. I'm just checking the time here so that we do this for a nice couple of minutes. We're rolling slowly. Notice I'm going really slow, glacial speed, and using the block as a tool to get into the lats and into probably grabbing into the serratus. If you move more forward, you'll probably capture some of the anterior deltoid and some of the pecs. They're all connected. So I'm trying to finesse this a little bit. I have my hand in front of me for support. By all means, you can take your hand behind you or beside you, whatever works for your body, whatever you find most helpful. You can also have your legs like I have, or you can take this left leg behind you to help finesse some of the weight and some of the help you with movement. So again, just taking your time, slowly rolling forward, and then slowly rolling back. I'm checking the time here. We have a little bit under a minute. So today I'm spending 2 minutes on this myofascial release. Again, feel free to press pause on the video and stay in it for a little bit longer. If there's any shooting sensations, I do want you to come off the myofascial release, maybe use a softer tool. Instead, maybe use a thicker blanket on top of this, or change the level of the block to baby bear level with a blanket on top. One of the things about myofascial release is a lot of people don't like it because their tool is too hard, meaning they're really not getting that parasympathetic response that we're looking for. That is really a benefit of myofascial release. So be kind to your tissues. All right, so that's about 2 minutes. I'm going to slowly come on up. And then I'm going to take a moment here just to notice how I feel. Whew. I always like to measure my arms. I don't know. I think my right, it does feel a little bit longer. Let me check here. It is a little bit longer. So imagine that 2 minutes, and there's a little bit more range of motion and length immediately from this myofascial release. Let's go ahead and head to second side. I'm going to turn towards the camera for, again, screen purposes. You can just turn away from the camera. Again, taking your time to find your Goldilocks, not too little, not too much, but just right. So again, taking that block on the level that resonates with you, tacking into the tissues as you're here, and then letting your head rest on the block or on your hand, okay? And then taking a moment here, maybe just to pause. Again, I'm just checking the time here. 2 minutes in this pose, in this myofascial release. Let your head rest into the block, maybe this other hand behind you, maybe in front of you to help finesse some of the pressure, maybe having the leg behind you to help as well with some of that pressure. Most importantly, breathe. Again, I'm going to just slowly, as I'm here, try to roll a little bit forward and back. Again, I'm going to take my time to roll through the tissues here, more towards the side of the ribs here, which feels really nice. I can definitely imagine the response from the cells, from this mechanical stimulus, right? The block and the blanket. And you've got another 32 or 34 seconds here to go. Really taking your time. Deep in breath and deep out breath. One more slow deep in breath and slow deep out breath. And then go ahead and just pause and breathe for a moment. And again, you may want to linger here. Just press pause in the video again. Otherwise, taking your time to, again, press yourself up using that top hand and then noticing how you feel as you're here. So breathe in and breathe out. I'm definitely noticing a big shift. Again, regulating that parasympathetic nervous system, especially when there's so much going on, right, with today's society, with all the stresses, family life, work life, including something like this and incorporating it into your practice gives you so much more better quality of life. And if you're doing this before sleep, right, better quality sleep. Okay, so from here we're heading into Anahastasana. I've decided to use a blanket here, the blocks, to get a little bit into the triceps. Feel free as you're here to take a traditional Anahastasana. I do have the blanket underneath my knees. I'm going to attack my elbows, the tissue of my elbows down, and my palms are together. And taking my time to scooch back into melting heart pose. Thumbs to the base of your skull or base of the neck. And then you can place the palms as you're here right to the area right between your shoulder blades, and then letting your head just gently come down onto the earth. Now, if you do have any knee flexion issues or being on the knees is really cumbersome for you, then what I would like you to do instead of this is take this on your belly. So check the time here so we can spend a nice chunk of time in this. So here is another option, is taking this prone onto your belly, and then tacking the tissues down here. And then slowly, I'm gonna scooch back. Just notice how I'm like kind of squirming back and coming into Anahastasana from here. Again, the intention is to get into the triceps and the side of the ribs there. Now, for some of my folks that may feel in this one, again, anything unusual like a surging, sharp sensation, you may want to just change the angle. Or if you know you have a pre-existing condition with arms kind of overhead, just change the angle, or even take this as you're here, right, on the floor instead, so that maybe we're not aggravating in your body. Again, everybody has unique spacing in their spine, and in their body too, and in everybody's different, right? So the brachial plexus, so just being mindful of that. You can move the arms wider if you need to, again, choosing what works best for you. Again, this feels nice as well, taking it on the floor, shifting back. We've got about 43 more seconds. This one we're spending 3 minutes on, a nice chunk of time like I mentioned. Deep in breath, deep out breath. Again, deep in breath and deep out breath. From here, go ahead and slowly just take your time to move your arms forward. Let your wrists relax. Breathe in and breathe out. And gently start to take your hands back, shift back into a child's pose or a seated Japanese seiza pose, whatever resonates with you. So either Japanese seiza, and then from here I'm going to child's pose. Child's pose. Again, you can have the knees go wider. I'm going to scooch back so I have a little bit of room for my forehead. I might need that. Not sure, but again, it's always nice to have a little bit more cushioning. And I'm going to take the blocks, and this is optional, to work on the forearms, right? So we're going to take the back of the forearms. You might need to remove your watch, but as you're here, just take the back of your forearms onto the blocks. And once again, just go ahead and just move the tissues around. I'm going to move the blocks a little bit higher into an area that, for me, my body feels like it needs a little bit more attention, because it's very helpful for me. I find that including myofascial release in my daily practice has definitely given me better gripping ability for when I do my lifting, right? So especially my left hand, working on this, especially, and then working through the hands as well. But again, moving through this tissue, you can get a little bit higher here if you would like. You can change it on an angle. You can take it lower if you find that that's better for you. Again, if this is too much on your knees, you can do this on your belly. So as you're here, kind of a like a quasi Sphinx pose. I like to bring my arms wider when I do this one. And again, you're just kind of playing around on each side as you're here. And turn towards the microphone. So as I'm here, I'm just getting into the arms. And again, if you're turning your head to one side, make sure you spend an even amount of time with your head turned towards the other side so that you can get a little bit of a rotation on both sides, even a little bit more symmetry. And just breathe. Roll through the wrists. So we got wrist flexion here. And some of us may want to do a little bit higher up, a little bit lower. Again, the intention is to get into, again, all these tissues around the forearm. And I'm just going to rest here. Again, just for video purposes, I have my head turned away because the microphone is on this side. So if you have your head turned one way, make sure you do the other side, like I mentioned. Let your fingers really, really relax. I'm finding my right hand wants to fiddle around again. So just disengage any unconscious muscular efforting or the unconscious need to do more. And then from here, I'm going to slowly come all the way up. Again, feel free to stay if that felt really helpful for you. Now I'm going to grab my block now and place it right underneath. You guys have done this before, hopefully, with me, unless you're new. Right underneath the underarms, and then letting my head rest as I'm here, coming to reverse angel prayer, taking the hands, interlacing them loosely behind the back, and then letting the forehead come down. Again, the block, you can take it on its lowest level if you would like. And I'm taking the block right between the front of the arm here and then the front of the chest. So here, here, and here. And notice I have it on an angle so that that you have space for your chest tissues. Okay. Hands are loosely laced behind you as you're here like this, or hands are just going to rest by your sides like so. We're going to spend another minute here before we head into our Shavasana. Always know, once again, that you can press pause. Once again, if you just quickly look at the screen, notice how I'm tucking my toes and shifting my body forward. That gives me a little bit more downward pressure in towards the front of my shoulder. And for me, it feels really nice. But again, every body is different. Hands beside you here is another option. Some of us may want to capture some of the tissue in the fascia of the elbow. As you're here, that's okay too, if you find that helpful. They'll most likely not get too much in the shoulder if you're wanting to focus more on the non-hairy side of the arm and towards the elbow there.
You've got about 20 more seconds here. This is another variation with the arms. You can do the kind of the I surrender arms. Definitely feeling more body awareness in towards the kind of the um, the radial side um, of my arm, which is quite interesting towards my thumb. It feels really nice. There's that connectivity that I'm feeling. When you're ready, again, press pause if you would like. You're going to slowly start to come up into child's pose and rest. From here, taking your Shavasana. So for Shavasana, you may want to roll your blanket into a tube, like so, and then place this right behind your neck. Let's do this. Let's create the Stonehenge once again to make it really nice. So really take good care of yourself as you come into Shavasana. You really want to be letting the whole body, the whole nervous system down regulate. Again, I'm going to take the blanket roll right to the base of my skull. And if you need to, if just kind of, that actually feels really nice to get into the tissue. I'm doing a little bit of scrubbing of the tissue at the base of the skull. This feels really nice. Okay, and then we're going to, as we're here, just kind of use this almost like those car seats for infants, cradling their head. And you might find that helpful. Again, you might not, whatever feels right for you. A blanket over you, and then taking your time here. Final rest and relaxation. Breathing in and breathing out. Now, I would recommend for you to stay for at least 5 minutes for Shavasana. But for video purposes and for time, this is where I leave you. And hopefully you found this practice really helpful, because this is my intention. My intention is for you that are coming to this practice to incorporate this into your daily life so that you have a better quality of life, a better quality of sleep, better inner connection to yourself. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to my new subscribers and to my existing subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please press the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.